The richest in America are immune from the consequences. In 2017, former President Donald Trump paid just $750 in taxes. He would later stage an insurrection. Betsy DeVos, Donald Trump's former Secretary of Education, who thought the biggest threat in schools was grizzly bears. Her last name is worth billions. Many have said her family name made their wealth off a pyramid scheme. Jeff Bezos, one of the richest people in the world, is a union buster who has his workers at Amazon go to the bathroom in water bottles. He, like Elon Musk, Michael Bloomberg, and Warren Buffett, pay little to nothing in taxes per ProPublica. In sports, owners of teams expect a return on their investment when making a bevy of donations in politics. Open Secrets equated a 9-to-1 ratio between Republican to Democrat support, and the richest do cash in. The latest scandal rocking the National Football League is from a familiar face, Daniel Snyder, billionaire owner of the Washington Commanders.
That's sewage.
From the atrocious conditions of his facilities.
Under Dan Snyder's leadership, women were used as sex objects and tools to increase sales rather than dignified human beings.
The House Oversight Committee's investigation into toxic workplace culture.
Daniel Snyder, a person with real power, probably won't face real consequences for his disastrous stewardship of this team.
The 20-year reign of sole team owner now, Dan Snyder, an era permeated with bullying, verbal abuse, sexual harassment, and sexual assault, has unfortunately been given the stamp of approval by the NFL.
Not only approval, but protection.
I believe I have the support of the owners. That has been clear to me.
From this man, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, and his other bosses, the NFL owners. He is also noticeably cheap. How cheap, you ask? Well, in 2014, Washington's football team served its fans expired beer from the Brazil World Cup.
This is a team, by the way, that years ago sold peanuts marked Independence Air. After Independence Air went out of business, the same company that supplied peanuts to the team supplied them to Independence Air, and after they went out of business, they gave their stale peanuts to the team. And he was like, I'll take them, I'll sell them.
Then Front Office Sports reported Snyder allegedly kept two separate books. Essentially, the embattled owner pocketed ticket revenue that must be shared with other NFL teams per multiple sources with knowledge.
We are Redskins Nation, and we owe it to our fans and coaches and players, past and present, to preserve that heritage.
He refused to change the offensive name of his team until corporate America stepped in and threatened to pull the naming rights, hitting Snyder where he cares the most, his pockets. He allegedly hired private investigators to look into team employees, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, and his fellow owners. It's claimed he has a file on Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Incredibly, more scandal today. In an April 2020 financial report, a $55 million credit line was taken out without the approval of Snyder's minority partners, who own a combined 40% of the team. Odyssey notes this is a violation of the team's shareholder agreement. Thus, the IRS and FBI are on it, with a federal grand jury issuing subpoenas for documents, which prosecutors have obtained, which include various messages between team executives. Those partners are Fred Smith, chairman and CEO of FedEx, Dwight Schrute, who's worth roughly $2 billion, though the NFL previously banned him from ever owning any portion of an NFL team ever again, and Robert Rothman, who, last time we checked, was desperate to sell his interest in the fledgling franchise. Here's a really important point of this story, which goes to show how the bacon is made. Goodell was hardly a bystander to Snyder's Bank of America loan, wrote ESPN's Don Van Natta. The commissioner's signature appears in a confirmation agreement that approves the team's new credit line on the day it was approved, December 13, 2018, said a source with first-hand knowledge. Goodell knew about the loan, but the partners didn't. 4 days after the partners pressed the NFL arbitrator to seek proof that the loan was legally obtained, the docs show the NFL moved to shut down arbitration proceedings. 3 billionaires, not a few whistleblowers, alleged to the NFL arbitrator that their partner had possibly committed bank fraud, the source told ESPN. This is jail time type of fraud. The NFL owes them as much of a fair shake as it owes Snyder. And the league had no interest in finding out what happened. They buried it and didn't investigate it and covered it up. Snyder would use the team as his personal piggy bank per court docs, alleging he charged Washington's football team nearly $5 million to put the team logo on his private jet for advertising costs, and millions more for vehicle reimbursement costs when traveling outside the country. He used all this for his lavish lifestyle, which means it was not just private jets. It included much, much more. More allegations on the misuse of team funds, staffing Snyder's yachts and private jets, abuse of corporate bylaws, and much more are laid out in rich detail in their 61-page arbitration petition filed confidentially with the NFL on June 26, 2020, and obtained by ESPN. There is also the allegation of Snyder covering his own tracks with a prospective owner who was trying to buy in to his franchise. They would later buy into the Atlanta Falcons. Snyder allegedly blocked the sale because it would have revealed all of this misconduct. So basically, he is trying to stave off time and also punishment. In another, Snyder's fellow owners claim he failed to pay his partners their quarterly share of team profits. How long of a leash does this guy have that he could keep doing this? Another tidbit from the report: Snyder removed his partners from a 6-member board. The partners claim Snyder violated the stockholders' agreement. He replaced them with Aaron Broshi and Gregory Owens, who are, quote, beholden to Snyder, per ESPN. Snyder used the proceeds from the credit agreement to disguise the team's poor operating performance and cash flow problems, and, at least in part, to enrich himself improperly at the expense of the team and other stockholders, the petition alleges. And in the end, it appears Snyder didn't have the cash to pay his ex-partners. Thus, he used the NFL to finance the buyout of them, which his fellow owners granted. This is just my opinion. You want to know why Daniel Snyder is not ousted as an owner in the NFL? It's because he says that he has dirt on some others. He hired private investigators to investigate his fellow owners, including the commissioner. He even said at one point, they can't F with me. You want to know why they don't throw him out of their good old boys club? It's because he may expose some of their shortcomings. I think what we're learning here is, and we've learned this previously through years of covering this space, how dirty a lot of these owners are. That's what we're learning. And if he were to hear Snyder, allegedly, an owner give him up, he would release that dirt to the media and make that person look horrible. They all have skeletons in their closet. The question is, do they reveal Daniel Snyder's?